Shalom to my brothers and sisters in the body of Yahushua HaMashyach, who is the bride of the Messiah. And shalom, shalom to the scattered Hebrew Israelites who are throughout the four corners of the earth, who are the bride of Yahuwah. Today, we have confirmation that in Israel, they have seen the new moon. And this new moon is the 7th new month, and it's dated on September the 21st, 2017, Thursday at sundown, as you can see in this picture here. You see a little small sliver, and you see the red arrow pointing to this. So the title of this new moon report is, let me go to my next tab. Israelites and Gentiles, the 7th new moon report, the season of the coming of the Messiah, anti-Messiah, and judgment. Yes, my brothers and sisters, just as we are expecting the true Messiah to come, so is Satan and his children expecting their anti-Messiah to come. All right? And we are also expecting the judgment of Yahuwah upon the whole world for what they did to his chosen people, who are the Negroes / Israelites, and also for their unrighteousness they have done as well in the earthly realm. Okay, now for the photo of this new moon. Okay, the date of this word today is September 27, 2017 AD. And this is the Gregorian calendar, which is Satan's calendar, of which the prophet Daniel has written to us in Daniel chapter 7. For that is not the Most High calendar, for they truly do not follow Genesis chapter 1 verse 14. It is totally off. Their calendar do not follow the heavens. I need to make a correction, and the year of that calendar is 2017 AD. The heathen's day is Thursday, and the phase of this day in Israel is at night. So today is the first day of the 7th month, and the date on the Gregorian calendar shall be from September the 21st to the 22nd, from sundown to sundown. These photos was taken from whenisthe.com. It's given credit to Leah Affliction. Forgive me if I mispronounce that name. And it was again cited on Thursday, September 21st, 2017. The time was at 7:22 p.m. in Jerusalem, Israel. Okay. And take this time now to pause your screen to read the rest of these things. All right. Also, for the announcements, you shall have access to the proof and evidence that the Messiah was born in this 7th month. For those who have studied the word of the Most High, know this, that the 7th month in the beginning was actually the first month until the Most High changed it in the book of Exodus. Remember when we always talked about in the past video that he is the beginning and he is the end? And the beginning shall meet the end. For when you study the heavens, you will learn that the sun's circuit begins in this month and ends in this month. This is why this is the final feast dealing with the gathering of the harvest when you study the word. In your spare time, check the video description box or the pinned comment section to have access to the proof on why the Messiah was born in the 7th month of the Most High calendar and not in December the 25th, which are the lies of Satan and his children of the Roman Christianity Catholic Church. For if you are keeping Sunday, keeping Easter, keeping Christmas, and following the Gregorian calendar, you have been indoctrinated by the Roman Empire, and you are following Roman Christianity. This is why the Hebrew Israelites today are calling themselves Messianic Nazarenes. Again, you have to seek Yah for understanding on these things. But let us continue. Also check the video description box and pinned comment section for the Most High prophetic message. For he is truly speaking now through his prophet and prophetess. He is giving you instructions of what to do in these last days. One of the most important messages I highly recommend for you to hear is I'm coming for you. He also has other messages to the 12 tribes of Israel and to the lost 10 tribes of Israel as well. He also has a warning message to the Europeans as well. And for the other Gentile nations, I highly recommend that you listen, because that goes for you too. Because judgment is coming to all nations. Also in the video playlist will be other important announcements and to give you more understanding on the holy days and holy feast days. But most important, remember our brothers and sisters who are being afflicted and oppressed by Satan and his children. Remember Brother Alayasha. There also was a sister Catherine. I believe it was her nephew who was brutally mistreated by the police. And it was another case that I brought out on the channel. Please go to the channel to hear their testimonies and to keep them in prayer. And those who are able to minister unto them, please do so at this time. Now for the calendar. Wrong tab. Sorry about that. Okay, so now let us go to the calendar. Oh, before we go to the calendar, let's look at the witnesses reports. Okay. Here we have renewmoon.com. And we can see some of the areas that has confirmed sighting. There has been sighting confirmed in Australia and sighting confirmed in Israel. You should have access to this link, and please go back and check this web page because they're still updating it, because I know right now we're waiting to see if anyone in America has also seen the new moon crescent for this 7th month. And then for proof, where you can see where I got this photo from, I went to whenisthenewmoon.com. This is another great site that I use to keep a tracking if Israel has seen the new moon. Okay, now let's go to the Most High calendar. Okay, here we go. Now we need to close out the 6th month. So this won't take long, my brothers and sisters. Hold on, okay? Give this thing a while. I have to be patient with Google Documents because it's very sensitive, okay? So before we talk about the 7th month, we have to close out the 6th month so you have the totals, okay? And bear with this. This takes a while to pull up. So when you are following the correct calendar and going by the heavens, you can't just put this on paper, my brothers and sisters. You have to go out and observe the heavens to make sure what you have on your calendar align up with its witness in the heavens, okay? You will have access to this calendar. You don't have to worry about writing everything down. You will have access to it. Therefore, you can print it out. So I just want you to focus and listen, because now we are going to the 6th month to close out the 6th month. Now, as this is taking a while to pull up, because the new moon was seen today on Thursday, we will have a total of 30 days for the 6th month, okay, for the moon, all right? Get this thing a while. It takes a while. Very funny. Also, we have noticed that in the 5th month of the Most High calendar, there was no sun entering into the star constellation for that month, for it fell early in the 6th month instead. So we are keeping a track on that to see how that works out, okay? So for the 6th month, dealing with the sun year, the 6th month of the sun had a total of 31 days for Israel and 31 days for America. So we're tracking both, all right? Because they're in 2 different time zones. And I kind of want to see how this works out. So as we had said in the last new moon report, that the sun month for the 5th month had a total of 32 days for Israel. But in America, it had a total of 31. So we're tracking both to see how this works out towards the end of the year. Now for the end totals. Just bear with it. As we can see, we have 30 days for the 6th month of the moon. So for the second quarter is looking at the summer season, the moon had a total of 88 days. Okay. Now for the sun. Okay, bear with it. It's very sensitive. Now, the actual time of the moon for the 6th month was 29 days, 11 hours, and 0 minutes. I got this estimation from timeanddate.com, okay? Also, for the sun, we had, also for the moon, the actual time of the moon is 88 days, 2 hours, and 0 minutes. Now, for the 6th month of the moon, Israel had a total of 29 days, because remember, they didn't sight the moon at the same time America did. And the Most High calendar had a total of 30 days. All right. So I'm trying to see if it'll let me bring this over so I can see what this is. Dealing with the mid-year of the moon, we have a total of 177 days. And dealing with the actual mid-year of the moon, the actual timing of the moon, we had a total of 176 days, 1 hour, and 33 minutes. Now we get into the sun. Okay. For the sun month of the 6th month, we had a total of 30 days, 21 hours, and 41 minutes. That's the actual time of the sun. Okay. But for the calendar days of the sun for the 6th month, we had 31 days. Now for the 2nd quarter of the sun year, we had a total of 94 days, 14 hours, and 37 minutes in the actual time of the sun. All right. And I did put more information about the difference between America days and Israel days. Okay. So you can read that for yourself. But for the mid-year of the sun, we had a total of 187 days for Israel, which breaks down to 187 days, 31 hours, and 32 minutes. But for America right now, we only have a total of 186 calendar days. All right. I know this may sound a little confusing. That's why I wrote it out. So you can go back and look at the notes and see how I break down these times. We have to look at the actual time of the moon and the actual time of the sun in comparison to calendar days. For calendar days cannot split a day. It cannot tell you when this end and this begin. You have to either round up. Okay. And you'll see what I mean when we look at the 7th new moon report. All right. So now let's go there now. Oh, I do need to mention this. Dealing with the fasting, you have to scroll down to get all the scriptures to understand what is a fast that is a cheerful feast. And we'll talk more about that when we go to the 7th month. So let me go to the top. It takes a while. Okay, here we go. So this is the 7th month calendar. We are in the 3rd season, which is fall. We are also in the 3rd harvest, okay? And the 3rd harvest is called the Feast of Tabernacles, also known as Sukkot, okay? Far as the last Shemitah, that was in the year of 2014, okay? Started on the 10th day of the 7th month and ended on the 9th day. And the last day of the Jubilee was also in 2015, started on the 10th day of the 7th month and ended on the 9th day. Okay, that is FYI. All right, now let's go to the 7th month. So this is the 7th month of the Most High calendar, and it fell this year between the month of September and October. And the biblical name of the 7th month is Attn. Another name for it is Tishri, and you can find Attn mentioned in 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 2. All right. In this calendar month, we shall talk about the 7th sign of Mazzaroth, the 7th sign of when the sun entered into the star constellation. And as before, this is the month of when our Messiah was born, okay, who is the son of Yah. So today is the first day of the 7th month that you see here before your eyes. And even though I put east and west, we are aware we are waiting for the west results. So I went ahead and put it down as east and west sighting the new moon. Okay. What you see highlighted in green is giving you the indication of the holy days or holy feast days. Okay. So the first day is the Feast of Trumpets. And this day is also a fast for a cheerful feast. You have to go back to the scriptures and read why this fast is a cheerful feast. You must read Isaiah chapter 58 and the book of Zechariah. Okay? For it is a memorial of an event that happened on this day to one of my ancestors who was killed during the Babylonian time when they reigned over us and had my people in captivity. Okay? Those scriptures are listed. Please go further down on this Google Note to get all those scriptures. All right. Now, on this day also is the 6th month of the sun. And in Israel, it's the 30th day, okay, of the sun for Israel. And it falls on the heathen calendar day from September 21st to September 22nd from sundown to sundown. For Yahuwah is the father of light. This is why he give us a signs in the heavens with light. Okay. He is not about darkness. That is dealing with the Satan and his children that represent them. When you study the Gregorian calendar, you will learn why their calendar day starts from midnight to midnight, because they are of darkness. But for Yahuwah and for his children, we are the children of light. Therefore, his days shall start from sundown to sundown. And this is why the new moon is a silver crescent to represent light. He always gives us a sign that we can see and verify in the heavens. Okay? So take this time now to pause the screen to look at day 1. Now we're going to the second week of the moon. All right? In the second week of the moon, on day 1, which is day 1 of that week, and it's actually day 2 of the moon, you will notice that the sun shall enter into the 7th sign of Mazzaroth, known as Libra. And on this day is when we have daylight equal to night. Now, because the earth has shifted, it's no longer aligned with the heavens. Because now, I got off track. Because the earth has shifted, it's no longer aligned with the heavens. So on this day, you may have the daylight and the night to be slightly more or slightly less. This is why. This is one of the signs that has been manifested unto us to let us know that the true children of Israel are not in the Holy Land, who are the Negroes / Israelite. You have to listen to the Most High prophetic message. I keep stressing that to y'all, my brothers and sisters, because you're not going back, reading the PDF form or the Google document form to see these prophecies being fulfilled. You're missing key signs, okay? So on the day 2 of the moon, the sun shall enter into the 7th sign of Mazzaroth, known as Libra. And it falls on the heathen's day from September the 22nd to September the 23rd. Now, when this happened, this is the last day of the sun, 6th month, okay? So the first day of fall actually begins on the 3rd day of the moon. Yes. Remember, we're dealing with calendar days. We can't split the day and time, which part was summer and which part was fall. That is why. But notice how this sign is in the early part of the calendar. That's why when you go back and you look at the Most High calendar, you will notice that in the 5th month of his calendar, there is no sign of the sun entering into that month because of how the sun is ahead of the moon. Remember, 1st and 2nd Enoch teach us that the sun year is always ahead of the moon. This is why you're seeing this happening now. Okay, take this time now to pause your screen to look at that. Now, the half waxing moon, the moon increasing in light, which is 50%, shall occur on day 7 of the moon. And that shall fall on the heathen's calendar on September the 27th to September the 28th from sundown to sundown. And as far as the sun, for the sun, it is the 7th month and 5th day of the sun. Okay, now we are going to the 2nd week of the moon. Okay. So in the 2nd week of the moon, you can see I put down a scripture for you to read so you can understand when Shemitah and Jubilee begins and what we do for those years. But for this year, we do not have a Jubilee and we do not have a Shemitah. Okay. So look at day 9 and day 10 for those scriptures. Now we're going to look at day 10 of the moon. On this day is the Day of Atonement. This is the day when we ask the Most High to forgive us. And the reason why I'm stressing this, because I've seen too many of my brothers and sisters asking everyone else for forgiveness, but we're not asking for the Most High to forgive us. We've done a lot of bad things to our Holy Father and to His Son, and we truly need to repent to them first before we start repenting to each other. Remember, Yahuwah is first, then His Son. Okay, so this is a day of atonement. All right, and on this day we have a fast. Now this fast is for a whole day, from sundown to sundown. That's why you see it's written from the 7th month 9th day to the 7th month 10th day. Okay, so it starts at the end of the day on the 9th day of the moon. Okay, starts then, and then it ends on the 10th day of the moon, from sundown to sundown. So in other words, we only fast for one whole day, from sundown to sundown. All right. And this is the sun's 7th month and 8th day. And on the heathen's calendar, it falls on September the 30th to October the 1st. All right. Now, you will have access to the Most High Holy Days and Holy Feast Days video, so you can get an idea of what scriptures to read and what to do. Now, here's a mystery that many do not understand. The Most High know you cannot keep those sacrifices. There's many different types of sacrifices we did on that day. He's aware of that. He also knows we do not have a temple in the earthly realm. And He knows that our high priest, which is the Messiah, is in the heaven realm. So here's the mystery on how we keep these holy days. He wants us to keep a memorial. If you are able to take this day off, such as the Day of Atonement and such as the Feast of Trumpets, then take it off. If you are not, He knows we are in the land of our captivities. So what He's asking us to do is to keep a memorial. Take your Bibles with you. Share the good news. Teach the people about the holy feasts and what we did on these days. Because the day is coming in the new kingdom. We shall keep these holy days and holy feasts as commanded and written in Torah. Please read the prophet Ezekiel book, which is from chapter 40 to 48. Zechariah chapter 14 and Isaiah chapter 66, because these days have not been put away. Again, you have been indoctrinated by the Roman Christianity, which is full of lies of what Daniel the prophet was talking about. Okay, so also on Atonement Day, we do rest. If you are able, take the day off. If you're not, the Most High understand that is the purpose of the new covenant, for the Messiah cover us for the things we cannot do due to us being in the land of our captivities. Okay, now let us go to day 15. This is the day when the Feast of Tabernacles shall start, which is known as Sukkot. This is the first day of the 8-day feast. This is also a day of rest. It fell on the heathen's day, which is October the 5th to October the 6th. Now, those who fall in the dark moon, you will find a big problem with this, because your full moon day is going to fall on day 17 for you. That is not possible. The full moon can only fall on the 14th or 15th day. And the full moon I'm talking about is the full moon that is 100% illuminated. We have to understand the phases of the moon, my brothers and sisters. Now, there are two holy feasts that always fall on the full moon day, which is Passover and the Feast of Tabernacles. And the Most High gave us a great sign in the year of 2014 and 2015 with the blood moons to give you confirmation that these feasts, which is Passover, day 1 of it, and the Feast of Tabernacles, which is day 1 of it, always fall on a full moon day. Okay. As for the sun year, it is the 7th day and the 13th day of the sun. Take this time now to pause your screen to look at this. Now we're going to the 3rd week. Because as you will learn about the Feast of Tabernacle, it is an 8-day feast. So the first day of this feast is a day of rest. Okay. And you can cook on these days, except on, you can cook on these days. But remember, for atonement, we are fasting. Fasting has, you can do 2 types of fast. You can do the absolute fast, restraining from food and water, or you can do the Isaiah chapter 58 fast. Whatever the Most High put in your heart to do, just do it. But fasting teaches us how to sacrifice ourselves for the sake of others, to bring them into the body of the Messiah. It also teaches us how to control our flesh. Again, check those videos out to get more understanding about fasting. Okay, but let us continue. to the third week of the moon. So as you can see that the feast is counted out from day 1 to day 2, day 3, and so forth, till we get to day 21 of the moon. On day 21 is the 7th day of the 8-day feast of the Feast of Tabernacles, and it falls on the heathen day, which is October the 11th to October the 12th. And this is the day when the moon is decreasing in light, and it's about 50%. Now for day 22. Day 22 of the moon is the day of the great day, which is called the solemn assembly. It has a deep spiritual message, my brothers and sisters, for it relates to judgment, and it relates to us being hidden in his tabernacles, for us being hidden in the wilderness. Whether you are in the heavenly wilderness or in the earthly wilderness, you shall be hidden, and it relates to this great day. Watch the videos in the playlist to get a more understanding. And check the pinned comment section or the video description box. So the great day falls on day 22nd of the moon, and this is a day we are to rest, okay? And it falls on the heathen date from October the 12th to October the 13th. And as for the sun year, it is the 7th month and 20th day of the sun. Take this time now to pause your screen to take a look at that. Now we're going to the 4th week of the moon now, okay? For the 4th week of the moon, we have the last waning crescent on day 28. This phase can be seen mostly towards around dawn time up to noon, depending on your area you are living in, depending on your time zone. Go to Wikipedia and look up phases of the moon so you can understand when can you see these phases. And that phase, the last waning crescent, which is decreasing in light, shall fall on October the 18th to October the 19th, okay? And for that day of the sun is the 7th month and 26th day. Now for the dark moon. The dark moon falls on the 29th day of the moon. The dark moon is the last day of the month, as the prophet Enoch tells us. It's in First Enoch, my brothers and sisters, but also please read Second Enoch. All right, that is the last day of the moon, and it falls on the heathen's day, which is October the 19th to October the 20th, from sundown to sundown. As for the sun, it is the 7th month and 27th day of the sun. Now when you go to the bottom of the calendar, you will see me putting the information about the date and time when the sun entered the 7th sign of Mazzaroth, known as Libra. And in the heavenly circuit, it is located about 180 degrees. And in Israel, it falls on September the 22nd at 11:01 p.m. Israel Daylight Savings Time. And in America, it shall fall on the 22nd of September at 4:01 p.m. Eastern Daylight Saving Time. Now, I do need to mention this. Daylight Saving Time shall be changed again. I wrote it down in my book so you can have it because it's very important. If you're in America and live on the Eastern time zone, we are 7 hours behind Israel, but they shall be changing it pretty soon. And I'm checking my record to see if I wrote it down. When they changed to their Daylight Saving Time. Okay. Israel Daylight Saving Time shall be changed on October the 29th. It should be pushed back 1 hour. But America won't change it until November the 11th. Okay? They're going to change their time to go back 1 hour. Both of these should happen at 2 a.m. in the morning. Let me say this again. Israel shall change their time by pushing the clock backwards by 1 hour on October the 29th. And America should change it on November the 5th. The reason why this is important, because you got to understand about the difference of time. For example, I am 7 hours from Israel because I'm in an Eastern time zone. But when they change it, because Israel is doing it before America, it'll decrease it to 6 hours being behind. I think it'd be 6 hours. It'll be either 6 or 8 hours. I have to do the math on it. But this is why it's so important for us to keep up with it. And I will add that to the calendar. It won't come out to the next calendar, so we can keep a track on that. All right. Also, you see here the scriptures being listed to read in your spare time. Read those scriptures. But that's what the Most High wants us to do. Just as the Messiah commanded us to keep a memorial of the Passover by breaking bread and drinking the wine. So, and just as he commanded us to do that, my brothers and sisters, he wants us also to keep more of these holy feast days, because they are to teach us spiritual things, or what was and is and yet to come. Because when the Father had me to study these things, it gave me more spiritual insight about the hidden mysteries that many people miss. Okay. And then you can see how I've been keeping up with the count for the Shemitah and Jubilee. So the year of 2017 to 2018 is year 2 out of 50. All right. I hope this answers your questions. If you do not understand, you can email us you can email us following the Messiah 378@gmail.com, or you can leave your comments in the description box. We have videos teaching you about the Most High calendar, and also teaching you about the Gregorian calendar, why it would not give you the Most High 7th day, for they have done a lot of changes to that calendar, such as removing days, and it has affected their 7-week consistent weekly cycle. Okay. Yes, it's a lot of errors in the calendar, because they're not following the word, they're not following the heavens, and it truly match up what Daniel chapter 7 was telling us, because the Gregorian calendar cannot give you the 7th day of the Most High calendar. It cannot. Here's the mystery. If you're in the wilderness and you have no paper calendar and you have no technology, no internet, how will you know when the day beginning end, when the month beginning end, when the week beginning end, when the season beginning end, when these holy days and holy feast days beginning end? How will you know? The answer is Genesis 1:14. And then seek Yah for his whole answer, because his ways truly is not our ways, and his understanding is truly our not understanding. And the way things are set up, the beginning always meet the end. For example, day one of the Most High calendar is 1. Day 29 or day 30 of the month is the end. And you see how he always have a separate day for each. He has a day for the beginning and a day for end. And the end always meets the beginning. Just as the sun has a circuit and the moon has a circuit, then you will understand how the end meets the beginning. All right. Continue to preach the gospel that the kingdom of heaven is at hand, for this is the season for the Messiah to return. We are in the 7th day from Adam, which is the 12,000 year from creation. Make sure the people receive salvation as written in Romans chapter 10. And that includes Israelites, Gentiles, male, female, bond, free, circumcised, uncircumcised, Scythian, barbarian, etc. And baptize them in the name of Yahushua HaMashyach, for the Lamb set the example of the water and the Holy Spirit baptism. And the apostles continue it as confirmed in the book of Acts. I love you all, and Shalom. And that means peace be with you. And do you know who that peace that is with you? Read Matthew chapter 28, verse 20. Think about it.